We're lucky to have State Senator Ken Horan, the Republican from Frankenmuth, who goes back and forth to the Capitol on our AT&T line right now. Welcome back, sir.
Well, it's nice to talk to you again, Michael Patrick.
Thank you very much. The first day of school was yesterday. Governor Whitmer went to Waverly High School, very near, well, right in between basically her house and her office at the Capitol. And she spoke to high school juniors and seniors. And at that meeting, she said, quote, "Why don't you come over to the legislature? You could walk over there and do a better job than some of the legislators themselves." End quote.
Yeah, there's probably a more gracious way to say that. When I'm with students at the Capitol building and we're talking, I always tell them you can be anything you want to be. And smart kids can be in the legislature, they can be in the Senate, they can be the next governor, the next president. So there's a better way to say that. We've been enduring those kinds of snarky insults all summer long. And after a point, we just said, there's no more negotiating. Something's got to give. And our students deserve a school budget. Our state deserves, taxpayers deserve a general fund budget. And we need to get back to work. The governor and the lieutenant governor seem to be the only two people in this whole entire state that still believe that the 45-cent gas tax is the way to go. And so we were quoted in Crane's Business as saying that there has to be an actual plan, just not a money raising scheme, and that the governor is at loggerheads with the people of the state of Michigan, not the legislature. So we need to stop the games and we need to start getting the budget done.
Do you think that because she was in the legislature, she feels she can prod the legislature with jokes like that?
No, I don't know. She is I think a very good person. She has a good sense of humor. She gets along with all of us. And I've been on one-on-one with her. She's an awesome person to be around. I don't know who she surrounds herself with. A lot of yes people, apparently. And even when Minority Floor Leader Christine Gregg said that the 45-cent gas tax is just a dead issue, she said, well, she was probably taken by surprise. She's not listening to people on the outside, and we're telling her, this isn't just about raising money. How are you going to spend it? You could raise $2.5 billion, you could raise $5 billion, raise $10 billion for crying out loud. But but how are you going to spend it? And so my folks in the Saginaw, Genesee County area are looking at down the barrel of a 45-cent gas tax, and they're going to spend it all in Southeast Michigan. That's your plan. So the plan is very vague on how to spend. What I want to make sure of is that taxpayers in the state of Michigan aren't gouged on the spending end. If I told you I wanted to spend $1 million on a new kitchen in my house, I bet you I have a lot of bidders. What I mean? And I'll get my $1 million kitchen. I want to spend more money on fixing more roads, not more money on fixing the same amount of roads. And haven't seen the plan that protects us from that extra construction inflation.
I can see why it's a little confusing, because a couple of times in the winter and in the spring at Mackinac, in fact, I asked the governor, was that 45 cents just an opening bid, or did you really mean that? And she said, when I say something, I mean it. But then recently she said, I'm not wedded to the 45-cent gas tax. I'm wedded to fixing the problem. And that seemed like there was wiggle room, but no progress yet?
Well, no, that's not wiggle room. She's been saying that all along. It's the 45-cent gas tax, but I don't make very many speeches on the floor of the Senate. But I got up and I said, what the governor did, in essence, was invite us over for a Thanksgiving dinner, and then she plopped this big, raw, wet turkey in the middle of the table, and said, "There you go." And if you don't like it, you fix it. And the governor didn't give us a plan; she gave us a scheme, to raise money. And everything we've done, everything we've offered in return, she's threatened to veto or she said no to. That's not governing. And the question is, if we put up, if somebody wrote the bill, she can't find anybody even on her own side to write the bill. If we put that on the floor of the Senate or the House, it would not pass. So now what do you do? She needs to remember that she is the governor of the state of Michigan. If the 45-cent gas tax isn't working, If that figure isn't working, then work with us to come up with a plan. You have to have a second idea. And that's what we haven't seen yet. This can't be, I offer this, and those darn legislators aren't doing their job because they haven't gotten me a plan that's better than what I offered.
Well, maybe instead of a Thanksgiving dinner, you should have a chicken dinner over at Bavarian Inn, and it won't be a big wet turkey. It'll be a nice, crispy, fried chicken. Dinner with the governor.
Of the gravy.
Frankenmuth with State Senator Ken Horn, the Republican. Thank you, sir, very much for the time.